It's the Friday edition of Kelly and Company with Nasreen Abdelmajid and Ramia Amuddin. The last day you're going to have to deal with us before Kelly comes back. On another Artist Corner feature, we're going to be learning about multi-disciplinary artist Kathy M. Austin's sensory approach to the arts and her latest work in music production. Plus, stick around for another waltz down memory lane, this time with two colleagues who are here for the long haul of AMI, from the volunteering days and the reading shows to live programming era, and they still stick around. That's Corinne Van Dusen and Mike Ross. We'll hear from them in a bit. Thanks for joining us.
This is Kelly and Company.
Nazi, it's Father's Day weekend.
It is.
Hello.
It's on Sunday, but we're very busy people, so we're kind of celebrating it today.
Okay,
But
so
I
not
gotta
too busy
say-
for that, just pushing up.
No, of course not. But I gotta say, yeah, we're surprising him today at my place, and we're gonna decorate, have cake, and do a little
Aw.
shebang. But I gotta say, it's so hard. I don't know why it's so hard to buy gifts for men.
Yep.
Is it just me?
Nope. We
It's
never get
so
my dad
easy
presents
for-
anymore.
Yeah.
It's too tough.
What do you do? What do you do?
We just do
He
we
has
do
the same
brunches
belt.
or
He
dinners.
has the same
or-
ties. He has
Yeah.
the same wallets. What is there to
Yep.
what else? What else
Honestly,
is there?
There's not
Yeah.
much more we can get that, because what do you for mom, you can get her flowers and chocolates and the
Jewelry,
same kind of
purses, clothes, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
There's so
But even
many
if it's
things.
just a gesture for the day, right? Like flowers are not going to last long. It's not going to stay in her kitchen cabinet, but it's a gesture. But for dad,
Mhm.
what do you get him? A beer,
I'm
I
getting
guess,
him-
maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I'm getting him a
Not
Home
for your dad.
Depot gift card. That's the best.
Oh
I
my
can
gosh,
do.
that's appropriate.
Yeah, he loves
'Cause
it, and he
Yeah.
goes there almost every day. Why not? So, like,
It's-
by the
Is that
time he
his favorite
watches
spot?
this episode, yeah,
Yeah.
that's his favorite. That's his go-to.
That's actually
So,
sweet. And then you don't have to
yeah.
get him the tools he already has or doesn't want or whatever, but you're
He has all the
encouraging
tools, and
that.
it's so cute. The garage at their place is
Mhm.
so organized with his tools. I can't get him any more tools or a tool
No.
organizer. He has all of that. He made it himself, so he
Aw.
customized it,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't make sense. So I think Home Depot gift card. Here you go. Buy whatever you want.
No, he can
There
get
you go.
whatever he needs for his next project, maybe. Does he do a lot of building?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He does a lot of renovating, building.
Oh, nice.
He gets bored easily, so he has to move. Yeah.
What's an appropriate, not to ask so much questions about the gift for your dad, but what's an appropriate amount for a gift card these days? I'm thinking
Dude.
used to $20 used to go a long way, not anymore.
That's what I
Especially,
was talking about. Because I was
Yeah.
saying, if we don't get him an actual gift, we have to get him a gift card, but it can't be.
It's gotta be a
looking
load.
so cheap.
Yeah.
So a gift
Gotta be
card, you have
$100
to,
gift card.
especially for your dad, it has 100. I think is appropriate. And yeah,
100's
back
okay.
in the day, $20 was a lot. It was perfect.
I mean, even for those ultimate dining gift cards, right? I'm not even thinking just Home Depot, but you'd get someone
Mhm.
a $20 Timmy's gift card, and that was a lot for Timmy's.
Yeah.
If somebody gives me
Now
a
that's
$20
$2.
Starbucks gift card, I'm what am I supposed to get with this? 2 coffees?
Yeah. Exactly.
No offense. So grateful.
Exactly.
Thank you guys all.
But for Home Depot, a screwdriver is $50. So there's your money.
$50. I know. I have myself
over exaggerating for sure. Yeah.
No, I don't think you are. I have a beginner's hammer, and I'm sure that cost me $30. I'm this is not even a real hammer.
Beginner's hammer? What does that look
Yeah.
like?
It's not the weight of a real hammer. You know what I mean? Just in case
I have a tiny one
Smash my
too,
finger.
actually.
Yeah. So
It's
cute.
so
It's a cute
cute.
hammer.
Yeah.
Now that we've
little
turned off
tool
everybody
bag.
from home rental projects with our cutesy hammers. It's pink.
Every time
No,
I put
kidding.
a frame up, it's an accomplishment, to be honest, for myself.
Yeah. Trust.
But yeah.
Like a mug organizer. I'm aw, I did this, guys. Look.
Yeah.
All right, Nazi. As promised, we're going to be delivering. Here's our second artist corner of the month, featuring artists from NAC, which is the National Access Arts Center. Let's take a listen to our chat with Kathy. Kathy M. Austin is a multidisciplinary artist, a writer, a dancer, visual artist, filmmaker, and now she's exploring soundscapes and music production in the National Access Arts Center's Music Practicum. NAC is a hub that offers artists unfettered access to the creative process, and Kathy's here to talk about her multi-sensory approach or multidisciplinary approach to art and her current work in the music program. So, Kathy, it's nice to have you on, and we want to talk all about your art. But first, can we throw back in time to a story we heard about? Years ago, a professor apologized to you for, quote, ruining your innate drawing ability. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened, that story, and how that affected your early relationship to art?
So it was a drawing class, and he had it was his first teaching thing out of university, and he had the assignment and everything up on a opaque projector, and I couldn't see it. So afterwards, because I didn't understand what the assignment was, and I went up and I said, "Oh, by the way, I'm legally blind, and could you just let me look at this stuff up close, and then I could do this." He was pretty scared about that whole thing, and so he spent the rest of the time trying to get me to draw like the sighted people, and I wanted the credits and the grades, so I did it. And then he called me into his office and said, "Oh my God, I ruined, should have let you draw the way you wanted to do." And I thought I couldn't get it back. But in 2001, I spent about 18 months doing a drawing diary. So I would draw something every day. And yeah, I got it back. I'm good.
Wow. I love that. And that would have stopped a lot of people cold, such as myself. I recently went back to, drawing, even though for years I didn't think I was good enough. And it just, because a lot of people made me feel that way. So the fact that years later you spent 18 months keeping a drawing diary to rebuild that confidence. Can you tell us about the moment you decided to pick it back up and what that first page felt like?
I don't remember what was on the first page, but it was a friend of mine that I had made a piece of art where I had drawn a whole bunch of zebras, and I told her that story, and she said, "Well, you can get it back." And so I was like, "Oh, okay." And I decided, I think when I started that, to just not worry about how other people drew and to just draw it my way.
And I wanted to know, what is a drawing diary look like? I'm really curious because I've never heard of it before.
Oh, well, I've done a lot of what I call specialized journals over the years. Like in 2004, I did what I call my smelly journal. So every day I just wrote about smells, but it's hard to describe smells because we smell using one side of our brain and language is on the other. So it's kind of hard to put those together, but I like the challenge of that. Yeah.
Well, what was it like to, because you talked about it here, people were telling you to make art the sighted way. That wasn't working out clearly. So what was it like to let go of those expectations and embrace your own style, your own inner creativity?
It's very freeing. And it took me quite a while to realize I never liked a still life. I hated doing still lifes in school. And I didn't really understand why at that point, but I rather draw from my imagination. I don't want to draw things out in the world because, I've had people say to me, "I really wish you would make art that's the way you see," but I'm thinking, oh, that'd be so boring. I know they're trying to understand how I see, but that's, but
that doesn't
now
even have to be the project for you.
Yeah.
At this point in my life, I don't care what other people think. I'm not going to do things for other people. I'm going to do what I like.
And what did that teach you, the drawing diary? What did it teach you, not just about art, but really about yourself?
I think that, it was good, to build up my self-esteem and appreciate the way I draw things. That it's good enough. Like, as you were saying, feeling that your drawing is not good enough. And I think that's what the class made me feel, that if he was trying to change me, then that meant something was wrong with the way I was doing it before. And there isn't. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we
it's
mentioned,
It is fine the way I'm doing it. Yeah.
we've mentioned that you're a multi-disciplinary artist. There's a lot going on with the music and the filming, and
There is. My life is a tornado.
I love it.
I love that slogan for your life. But you're playing in the sound space now at NAC, and that's music production and soundscapes. What is drawing you to audio?
Well, for the song lyrics part, which is not what you asked, but I will get to that. So I worked in a nursing home in the 1980s, and one of my charges was a psychic woman. We'll call her Mrs. G. And she had a premonition that I would write a song. And I was like, what? And I was writing novels and things like that then. But I've been trying to make her premonition come true. And we're finally at the point, that now I'm writing song lyrics. And I've, for a long time, I've had an interest in making music from like field recordings and just weird sounds. And that's what I'm hoping to do with Blindsville.
Yeah, and that's a new track right now, and that you've been working on, but it isn't finished, but the lyrics are.
The lyrics are finished, yeah.
So would you give us a little spoken word performance of
Of course. I'd be happy to. Blindsville. In Blindsville, I don't have to guess who people are, and if I get it wrong, no one gets mad. When I say I ran into Denise, it means I crashed into her. I don't touch other blind folks to indicate I'm behind them. I tell them I'm there. I live in Blindsville. Life is a thrill. No steps to fall down. No looking like a clumsy clown. All pathways stay clear. Nothing deadly to fear. Food packages open easily. Everything is in large print. Movies and TV have audio description. Transit goes everywhere and runs frequently. No glass doors to run into. Stages and buildings don't have blind traps. I live in Blindsville. Life is a thrill. No steps to fall down. No looking like a clumsy clown. All pathways stay clear. Nothing deadly to fear. Chairs are always pushed in. Doors are never halfway, either closed or fully opened. No throw rugs to throw me. My clothes have tags, so I know which way to put on my pants. No revolving doors, no escalators, no cafeterias or buffets.
I love that. I can't wait to
thank
hear
you.
the finished product.
Yup. I'm looking forward to my invitation to Blindsville.
I think we all want to live there. We want to live there.
Kathy, I've went through a similar situation where I've said that a lot of people made me feel like I'm doing something wrong, like picking up, painting and drawing. I've loved doing that when I was young, and I had to stop because so many people around me were telling me, oh, like, this is the wrong way. You're not doing it well. You're not doing it right. So what would you say to someone listening who's either been told they're doing something the wrong way, or who's grown up never seeing someone like them doing the thing that they love and has quietly assumed it's just not for them?
I would hope that if they really want to do it, that they would just go ahead and do it despite what people say. And for those who have told you that it wasn't right or it wasn't good, perhaps you can say to them, well, you do it, and then I'll tell you if I think it's any good. I would really like to see people, be able to do what they want to do and hopefully not feel judged by so many other people.
And I loved how you stuck with it, like doing the drawing diary. That really kept you going. And that
it was a good
confidence.
exercise to rebuild my confidence. Yeah.
Love that.
Well, Kathy, it was lovely to have this chat with you and to hear Blindsville. All the best to you and all the projects that you're up to.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
This was wonderful.
That was multidisciplinary artist Kathy M. Austin of the National Access Arts Center with a spoken word preview of her upcoming track, Blindsville. And you can learn more about Kathy's work and explore other artists in the NAC community at accessarts.ca. And right now, if you're feeling inspired, thanks to a matching initiative, every donation made to support their inclusive programming goes twice as far. So it's a perfect time to give. Check out another Artist Corner with us next Friday. We're trying to get these to you on Fridays through June. Okay, we're wrapping up Kelly and Company at the end of June. June 27th is the last show. You're joining us through the month to celebrate the show, celebrate yourselves for being part of the Kelly and Company family, and celebrate the live programming era of AMI. Now, here's a pair of people who have been part of AMI all the way from the volunteer days into the reading shows, then the live programming era, and everything else under the sun of broadcasting. Let's take a listen to this chat.
It's time to do it again, folks. Let's catch up with company from our past, people who have left a mark on Kelly and Company or other live shows through the live AMI audio show era. Corinne Van Dusen and Mike Ross have been a dynamic duo for our reading shows here on the network. They've also hosted their own shows at AMI over the years. Late Edition and Live from Studio 5 I'm referring to. And of course, they've both met us on our show here plenty of times. Mike, Corinne, thanks for taking time to do this, guys, as we do this big month of celebrating. I'm going to start with you, Mike. How were you recruited for Live from Studio 5, which started in February of 2016?
Yeah, hard to believe. 2015 was the first time that I sort of became associated with AMI directly, and was approached with the idea of helping grow live programming on AMI Audio. AMI, of course, Audio had long been doing long-form programming, documentary programming, but they hadn't really ventured into the era of live programming. And so they asked if I would come on board as someone with plenty of live broadcasting experience and sort of help them set sail and also really work with some of the contributors and new arrivals here at AMI to sort of develop a roster of hosts and get people experience. And so 2015, it was U.S. Thanksgiving. We were visiting family down in New York when I got the official word that we were going to begin this relationship, and off we went. And I just I'm blown away that 9.5 years later, we are now looking at what AMI Audio has become and seeing so much growth in programming and in individuals.
Yeah. I remember thinking that, when we started doing it, people, when we did start the Kelly and Company, how long do you think this show will last, Kel? I said, I'd love 10 years if we could do it, but, I'd be happy for 5, 6, 7, whatever we could get out of it. Now, no, let's keep it going. It's like, hey, are you ready for it to end? Never. Now, Mike, one of the things that I had the privilege of doing is co-hosting with you as one of the revolving co-hosts, which is part of that mentoring you were doing. When I was asked to do Kelly and Company, you went away on vacation, came back, looked at the stuff, listened to stuff, and gave me some advisement as part of that whole mentoring, because I had never, ever thought of being a talk show host. I thought of sitting there and saying, hey, the next song we're going to play is and had no idea. But Nisreen, he walked me through so much of that, and it was a blessing, because I can tell you there were so many things. And in both cases, when I sat in for Mike, and when we did our first show, we had some technical problems where I was actually hearing other things in my ear, along with my computer, along with whatever the guest was saying, along with the control room, and whatever was crossing over from the studios next to. Sometimes we'd get stuff from the promo editors and stuff like that they were working on, and some of the other stuff that was being done. Nisreen, it was crazy. I'm sure you can relate, as you've worked in that space and had weird things happen.
Oh yeah. Lots of weird things. I can tell you that when in live with Studio 5, I was a news reporter back then, and Mike did the same. He was my mentor, and he transitioned me from being a robot to, an actual news reporter.
Yeah.
So that was pretty incredible. Again, so privileged to have these people work with me and mentor me and guide me to become like who I am today. I know it's cheesy to say. I keep saying it. It's so cheesy. I hate it, but at the same time, it's true. It's facts.
But I'll just say to both of you that it comes from a very real place for me, because as someone who, when you look at my resume now, as opposed to where I was 30 years ago, it's very, very different. I've got a lot of different experiences under my belt, but one of the big things for me was coming up through all those years. I always had great mentors helping me out. And some of the biggest names in broadcasting in this country, names like Jim Taddy, names like Jim Van Horn. These were people who were established icons of television and broadcasting in this country. And yet they always took the time to take me under their wing, and to this day are still major confidants and mentors to me, people that I still talk to. So it's important for me to continue that and to give to the next generation, but even more so, and I want to say this sort of delicately but also respectfully, that when we started doing live programming on AMI Audio, we had a lot of people who were living with disabilities, but we were trying to turn them into broadcasters. Mm-hmm. Now, AMI and AMI Audio has grown to a service that has broadcasters who have disabilities. And that's the thing that I think we've been able to really foster, not only within AMI, but within other organizations that have partnered with AMI over the years in developing really good broadcasters, and not necessarily just people with disabilities who can talk on a microphone, who might be able to become broadcasters, but actually broadcasters who have disabilities.
So when you went to 680 and moved on to other subsequent jobs, but still keeping the oar in the water with us, what was that like for you, Corinne? It must have been juggling like that people don't even remotely understand.
Yes. Well, I started at 680 News, which is in Toronto. It's in all news stations. It's 24 hours a day. And I started on the night shift. So when I was working there, I put my volunteer hours to the morning. So I would end work at 680 at 6 a.m. And then I would drive to the AMI audio studios and nap in my car until 7 when the doors open, and then go in there, do my prep and read the articles from there. And volunteer hours were very good with kind of working with your schedule, within certain means. So you could get on in places, and all of my news career and reporting career, I've never had a 9 to 5. I've been all over the place all the time. So I am, someone who can put myself in at different times and different places. I like to say I'm, a doctor's office dream patient, because they say, "Are you ready at 1:00 on a Wednesday?" And I'm like, "Yep, I'll be there."
Wow. Both of you have had that time, as Mike referenced, working with disabled people who were learning to be broadcasters and so on, that went like that with the revolving co-hosts that Mike had. And Corinne, you had different contributors, working people coming in to work on the show when you were hosting your show. I'll start with you, Mike. What was it like that you could take away and working with those people and that different experience? Because I recall at some point you felt so much like, because you had to learn so much about the disability community and you just kept soaking it up.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that AMI did for me in very quick fashion was made me just so much more aware of my surroundings and our surroundings and the impact that they have on people with disabilities. Certainly, I had associations with people in my daily life who lived with certain disabilities, but to really sort of live it and understand it and really witness the impact every single day, where it almost became second nature to me. It was, it really was fascinating to me, because here I was, in my 40s, and I'm learning something completely new. I'm learning a whole new facet of life, and realizing a whole new facet of life. And it was kind of funny to me that, along the way here over the decade, I've had people kind of look at me within our circle of friends as, the disability guy. Oh, he's the guy. Oh, he knows. He'll understand. Tell this person why this needs to be fixed, or why this is put in the wrong place. And it was funny because, Kelly, I would always sort of default to you when I would face these situations. And funny enough, not to be not to be gross or anything, but being in a restroom at one point and looking around, hey, where's the roll of toilet paper here? And then finally finding it in the weirdest, most awkward, out of reach place. And the first thing that popped in my mind was, how would Kelly ever find the toilet paper in here? This is ridiculous. True story.
Been there and done that. Been there and done that.
I freaking love that.
Exactly. And so that became sort of the default for me in AMI being a learning experience for me in the beginning. But as far as working with people, with disability, in kind of sort of sussing out who are the broadcasters, who aren't, there are people who did not work out. It just wasn't their bag. They wanted to give it a try. They gave it a try. They just didn't work out. They weren't comfortable with the situation, and that's okay. I love the whole gamut that we went through of people and personalities. Everybody brought something different to the table, and whether they ended up being on Live from Studio 5, or maybe moving on to a different show, or not doing any broadcasting at all, they all brought something to me and helped me grow into that role. So as much as I was a mentor for the broadcasting side of things, I had a lot of people, including yourself, Kelly, who mentored me on the disability side of life.
Yeah.
Corinne, do you miss doing the live show format?
Absolutely. I love the Globe and Mail today. It is such a joy to read. It is such a great paper, and it's so much fun. But Late Edition was my baby. Late Edition came together, and it was the first show that I had all on my. I've done live radio forever, so it wasn't all my stuff hasn't been recorded before, but just getting to put it together and getting different sections. I was thinking the other day, because Nisreen, you were on it, and we would talk entertainment and sometimes lifestyle, and Jeff Ryman would come on and we would talk sports, and the first two segments were news. So I do all international news for the first one, and the second one was national news. And I heard someone on air say, and then stories from coast to coast to coast. And I thought, I miss saying that, because that would be my opening to the national thing. So it was the creativity that everyone puts in it, the collaboration that you can put into it. It was just, not to sound like Austin Powers, but that was my bag, baby. Like that's what I wanted to do. Yeah. And I got the chance, and I'm forever grateful that I got the chance to do that.
Well, guys, we went longer than we were supposed to, but we all know that's live radio, or as close to live to tape. Both of you, it's just an honor to have worked with you guys in the capacity that we're talking about. I love hearing the stories, the memories that you have. It's just so enjoyable, and we hope those listening in feel the same way. And it's always lovely to hear you guys doing your work on the reading shows and bringing the Globe and Mail. Like, it's just so much fun, everything you guys have got to do, and I love looking back. Thanks a lot for making a lot of time for us, Mike and Corinne.
Yes.
Thank you.
Happy to be here. Thank you, and congratulations to you guys, and a fantastic run.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Corinne Van Dusen, and of course Mike Ross, joining Nisreen and I as we walk down and remember the live show era on AMI Audio.
So stick around for more of these walks down memory lane, and thank you so much for being with us as we wrap the Kelly and Company era. 8+ years we've been together. On the next show, when Kelly MacDonald is back on Monday for our last appearance with Dr. Danielle Johnkind, she's going to tell us about the best of Kelly and Company's almost 9-year run. So I was wrong, 9 years of Ask a Veterinarian. How did we keep Kelly talking about animals for all that time? We'll never know. Plus, Julia Caranches joins us for another nutrition segment. All that and more on Monday.
Thanks for tuning in to Kelly and Company. Follow us on all social media, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more.